Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the spin-off series for The Walking Dead, including the Daryl spin-off. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on the question, is Daryl MGTOW? Alright, dudes, so I thought this would be a fun one to go ahead and cover for today. Also, there is a recent interview with Reedus where he talks about the spin-off series. They're working on it right now, and he calls it a reset. A great reset. Just a reset, I guess. I see the need for a great reset. He calls it just a reset for Walking Dead. So we'll go through that. But the first question for this one is Daryl MGTOW, which I thought was a really good question, because I never realized, as we're going through the Walking Dead original television series all these years, I never realized that Daryl is totally MGTOW, right? I mean, there's a question for a while. People were wondering, like, because he never has a steady, chick. He never has kind of like a really long-term relationship, throughout The Walking Dead. I know. They call it an LTR. The MGTOW dudes call it an LTR. They have an acronym for long-term relationship. An LTR. See, I'm learning. I'm learning. And I do enjoy the MGTOW guys. I think they're really great. If you guys don't know what MGTOW is, it means Walking Dead people. It means men going their own way. So is Daryl a MGTOW? He's definitely a MGTOW, right? Daryl is absolutely, totally a MGTOW. He's definitely going his own way. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily be a bad thing. It just means that he's doing his stuff. He's doing his deal. He's killing zombies. He's helping out his buddies and his friends. He's taking care of his group. He's protecting them. He's doing his stuff. And somehow for the Daryl spin-off series, he's ending up in France. So he's definitely a man going his own way in that, he does have a relationship with Leah in The Walking Dead season 11, which I think is actually pretty good. I enjoy the way it goes, but it's a very MGTOW type relationship, right? He hooks up, they do their stuff, whatever, but he kind of goes his own way and kind of goes off and leaves, right? And then they kind of, it doesn't work out, so they sort of, go their separate ways and whatnot. Daryl keeps Leah's dog when they kind of split off. Dog goes with Daryl, and now dog is with Judith, right? I think she says at the ending of The Walking Dead that she'll take care of their dog for him. So dog won't be in the Daryl spinoff series in France. Just a heads up for that. My apologies to people who thought, wanted to see the dog in France. Not going to happen. No. But then later on, you see a rivalry between Daryl's group and Leah's group, the Reapers, and Daryl ends up. At first, it seems like we're not sure, right? We're not sure if he's gonna, because there's a versus between the survivors and the Reapers. We don't know if Daryl will still side with his old his group, the survivors, his companions throughout the whole series, throughout the whole zombie apocalypse, versus this new chick, right? But he does. So he inevitably ends up in a versus fight to the death between Maggie and Leah. He ends up taking Maggie's side and shooting Leah, which that's so MGTOW, right? He doesn't get hung up on it. He's got the deal. If it works for him, then he's good, and if it doesn't work for him, then he's going his own way. Totally, completely MGTOW, yeah. And MGTOW's not necessarily a bad thing, I think, especially modern day and going forward. Speaking of a reset, with respect to the reset going forward in the future here, it's probably going to be pretty difficult to become successful, with inflation rates, with housing prices, with interest rates going up so much. You want to get a mortgage nowadays, interest rates are like, I don't know, depending on what you're looking at, probably 7%, 6%, at least where I live there. I took a look at them. Line of credit, interest rates are like 7, 10%, because you got to work in the fees. The bank want their extra fees they don't tell you about, right? They got the insurance, and also by the time you're done, you're looking at like pretty high damn rates. So it's going to be difficult for people to really, really kill it in the future, but not saying it's impossible. You can do it. Maybe just work more overtime or something, and that's a good answer for it. But yeah, dudes, Definitely I think it's a good thing to be on your game first, to be working hard, to be doing your stuff, to be successful yourself, and then you can kind of give yourself to another should you choose to do so. And if you don't want to do that because you don't want to take on the risk, like a lot of the MGTOW dudes say, of marriage and whatnot, with so many marriages ending in divorce and everything, you don't want to be on the losing end of a I don't know, a custody battle or something. You got to be careful. So definitely Daryl is MGTOW. You guys can leave your thoughts on MGTOW. I've done a couple short videos on MGTOW before. I definitely respect the MGTOW guys. Lots of love for them for sure. And especially after like COVID and everything, so there was like a lot of divorces during COVID. Polarizing. Lots of babies made because people are at home all the time, and at the same time, lots of people losing it on each other when there was lockdowns and people were having a tough time. So the interview with Norman Reedus talking about the Daryl spinoff series. Norman Reedus calls the Daryl spinoff series a quote-unquote reset. And AMC President Dan McDermott was kind enough to tell Entertainment Weekly that the spinoff will follow Daryl as he wakes up and finds himself somewhere on the European continent. We kind of know that's France already, right? And tries to piece together what happened, how did he get here, and how is he going to get home. But that was then with Daryl Dixon now officially in production. That's what the series is called. The Daryl spinoff is just called Daryl Dixon. What we want to know is, what about now? What can Norman Reedus tell us now that the cameras have started rolling and he's back playing the same character on a new continent? And Norman Reedus says, we're 3 weeks done. He tells Entertainment Weekly, we've got 3 weeks in the can, and how's it going? It's effing great. Everybody that's involved in it is really, really excited about what we're doing. It's so epic in scale, and the tone is so good and different and moody. Reedus also says the move to Europe definitely gives the spinoff a different vibe from the original. Quote, there's history in the story. There's history in the walls around us. There's history in the sound of it all. And it's a very different feel. It has the stuff that you want from the show, but it's just picked up and put in a whole other dimension. Sweet. While The Walking Dead may still be the show title in the show title, the actor says the story is more than a continuation. Quote unquote, it's a reset, says Norman Reedus. You learn a lot of things after 12 years of doing a show, and there are certain paths that you inevitably have to go down because there's such a big cast. We don't really have that over there. It's kind of a fresh start for us and all the things that we love doing, and just a whole bunch more. While his character of Daryl will be adapting to a new environment on screen, Reedus has been doing the same as he adjusts to the weirdness of filming a Walking Dead show on the other side of the Atlantic. Quote, it's weird as shit, but that's the story, says Reedus, drawing a connection between actor and character. People are speaking French around me, and part of my story is me trying to figure out, is this good or is this bad? Are we about to get into a fight, or are we friends right now? I'm trying to read lips with a language that I don't understand, and I'm reading body language, I'm reading tone, I'm reading all sorts of things. And it's confusing, and I figure out how to get out of it and how I get to the next step. It's all part of the story. So it's weird. Yeah, it's weird, but that's the show we're making, so it's working really well. Cool, man. So that was interview from Norman Reedus about the show and it feeling like a bit of a reset. So let me know what you guys think about that info about the Daryl spinoff series. Leave your comments below, and also about being MGTOW. What do you think about it? And if there's any other characters you would consider in The Walking Dead as MGTOW. Kevin Evans says seasons 11 or 7 to 11 for The Walking Dead were my worst, with 9 being the best of those. Top seasons are 1 to 6, and then he's got a ranking of 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 1. Yeah, a lot of people were pissed off that I put season 1 for The Walking Dead in the season rankings at the lowest spot, but it's just mostly because it's only 6 episodes, so you're not getting as much for it. But I feel like from what I saw in the rankings that a lot of people, they regard the earlier seasons as the best. Like season 2, for example, which has some good stuff with Shane and Rick and Lori and everything. But I really feel, if you look at the last few seasons, that the scale is so much larger for Walking Dead than it was at the beginning. So I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that not as many people were watching at the end because it was on for so many years. So they think fondly of the earlier seasons. But when I watch the earlier seasons back, I'm saying like a lot of the stuff that was like awesome when you first see it, compared to some of the stuff they do later on with the whispers and stuff, I really feel like is not as epic in scale. Like if you look at the fights in season 3 with Woodbury and stuff, those seemed really awesome at the time, were so exciting and everything. But look at how much smaller scale they were than some of the later fights, like the last episode and stuff. You know, absolutely huge. So that's my rationale for it. And I just look at it as like that's when the series was hot earlier on. But I think that, you know, they just made it even bigger and better as it went through. That's me though, and I don't really pay as much attention to you know, like how many people are watching it versus, you know, how I just feel about each season and what they were doing in the season, how much they did. JMF Aquatics, the New York Walkers will just be more arrogant in Dead City. That's a good comment. Ash Williams says, the Walking Dead comics are also my favorite comics. Can't wait to read them again someday. Very cool. And Hellfire says, it makes me upset that so many people are hating on Walking Dead. I was 7 years old when I watched season 1 premiere with my grandma, and we're here today having almost never missed a Sunday of The Walking Dead together. I'm so thankful for all the memories this show has engraved into my mind for the times it kept me up at night. Awesome. Love it, Hellfire. Great comment. And cool. So if you were that young, 7 years old, you must be about 20 now, right? Almost or so. 19. And then we have Karen D, who says, Season 6 was my favorite too, and No Way Out was my favorite episode for sure. Really great one. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. My apologies I didn't get a stream done this weekend, but wanted to do a video here and there. We'll definitely be doing some Walking Dead videos here and there. Don't know how many, you know, maybe some top 10s, favorite characters, best characters, different stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see. And then other stuff as well, too. Daryl MGTOW, comments below. I'll see you again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.